Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin Armstrong. I live in New Jersey, where I go to Delbarton School. So the question I'm answering today is, how has the Arabic language spread and influenced various other languages? So as a presenter, I'm not an expert in this topic, and if I have anything wrong, anyone in the audience can feel free to ask questions or correct me. And my goal is just to present information and not persuade anyone of any agenda. So for my presentation, I'm going to first start with telling you a bit about how the Arabic language has spread. I will then move into which words in other languages derive from Arabic. And lastly, I will try to sum up what the use of these words says about Arabic and Islam. So what led me to this topic? I'm a high school student studying Arabic as a foreign language, and I've always found etymology and how words change over time or derive from other words in other languages super fascinating. And when I began learning with afikra, I was given the chance to take a step back and look into this etymological world that I found so interesting and just explore what I've always been so curious about. Let me start with the Middle Ages and how they affected Arabic and spread Arabic. So during this time, Christian countries in Europe were launching the Crusades, which were Christian expeditions aimed to take back the Holy Land, which they believed to be theirs. And although the Crusades were a very harmful time to the Arab world, and especially Islam, they did serve as a way to connect Europe to the Middle East. And these two areas were in a very different state at this time, where Europe was in a dark age and the Arab world was in a golden age of learning and a golden age of Islam and science and medicine. And this was actually reflected in the way Arabic spread to Europe, because a lot of these words are related to science or mathematics, which again was experiencing a golden age in major cities in the Arab world. So just one example is shown here. So the Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi was one significant Arab mathematician. He's known as the father of algebra and one of the leading mathematicians in the Arab world at the time. And al-Khwarizmi's methods of mathematics, which we now know to be algebra, were known in Arabic as al-jabr, meaning the power to reunite broken parts, which is essentially what algebra is. And that word was directly adopted into English as we see it today. It's pretty much the same pronunciation. And additionally, the word algorithm is a direct derivative from al-Khwarizmi's name. And this is an example of how words alter slightly between languages, because al-Khwarizmi's name contains an Arabic letter, fa, which is not a sound in English. And so the letter was morphed into a G. And similarly, the Z was morphed into a TH, a the sound, which is a common sound alteration seen in a lot of translations or word derivations. So this map is just an interesting little excerpt from when Europe and the Middle Ages, or the Middle East, were sort of coming together. This map is from a book called the Tabula Rogeriana from a geographer, Muhammad al-Idrisi, who served King Roger II of Spain. So the original map, which is at the top, picture might not look too familiar, but once flipped upside down, we can see a pretty accurate depiction of Europe and Asia and Northern Africa. And the reason the map depicts the South at the top is because of the prominence up here, of the prominence of Mecca and how it's the holy city of Islam and how geographers like to put that top and center to emphasize its importance. So another way Arabic spread was through Islam. So throughout history, religions have always spread pretty easily to other areas of the world, especially with a lot of aspects of Islam that make the religion so appealing to a lot of people groups in history. And because of this, the Arabic as a language was able to spread with Islam where it might not have otherwise, because of how integral Arabic is to Islam and the Quran. Because Muslims believe that the Quran should only be read as it was originally written, and that was in Arabic. And the Mughal Empire here is a prime example of this. The Mughal Empire was an Islamic empire, and although the people in it spoke Persian, Arabic still crept into the area and the languages that remained in much of modern-day India. So here's an image of Arabic inscriptions along the walls of the Taj Mahal, which was built by a Mughal ruler. And again, the empire was a Persian-speaking empire, but because these inscriptions are Quranic verses, they were written in their original form, which is Arabic. And so as the Mughal Empire fell and other peoples and religions and languages came through the region, Arabic left its mark, as in the Hindi language here, which is one of the most widely spoken languages in India today. There are actually Arabic words within the language. And as you can see through these words, like book, human being, the world, a lot of them have to do with religion or Islam. And they're pretty direct translations, as Book is kitab in Arabic, and same Hindi. Human being is insan. World is dunya. And although it's a different alphabet, they are pronounced the same in Hindi. So another example of Islam playing a significant role in the spread of Arabic is in Indonesia and the Bahasa Indonesian language. Indonesia, despite not being an Arab country, has the largest Muslim population in the world, which is reflected by the language's similarity to Arabic. And this comes from the vast trading networks that Islam traveled through, which cemented itself as a majority religion in Indonesia, and numerous Arabic loanwords to the Bahasa Indonesian language. You can see here Islamic law, to pray and fasting, all relating to Islam and religion, are Sharia, Salah, and Som, which are, again, the same in Indonesian. Another way Arabic spread was into Spain, which was, after the Umayyad dynasty in northern Africa spread into Spain, a lot of Arabic was left in the area. So the history of the Moors is present in southern Spain's architecture, culture, and the Spanish language overall. The Arabic language actually it's left a significant impact on the Spanish language. There are over 4,000 Spanish words that come from Arabic, which I'll get to later, more of those words. But one interesting little thing here, the region of Gibraltar, Spain, is actually a homophone for the Arabic Jebel Tariq, meaning mountains of Tariq. And the region received this name when the Umayyad general Tariq ibn Ziyad began Muslim conquest of Spain in the year 711 Common Era. So not only did Arabic take root in the common language, but also the nomenclature of the geography and landmarks of the region. And so that was some of the history, how Arabic spread, and some of the areas it spread into. And I'll get into just other words that are loaned from Arabic, and we'll start with English. I already covered algebra and al-Khwarizmi, but we also have alchemy, which comes from al-Kimiyya, which means the art of transformation. And zero comes from sifr in Arabic, which means zero or void or empty. Here's the Bahasa Indonesian language. Some other translations. Servant is abd in Arabic. Pilgrimage is ziyada. Sunday is al-ahad. And in fact, all the days of the week in Arabic are the same in Indonesian. Nature is alam, and beginning is awal, or start, and all of these are the same in Indonesian. Then in Hindi, covered most of these already, but law is qanun, chair, kursi, and the same in Hindi. And so as we get into Spanish, this is one cool example of how two sort of colloquialisms between the two languages are the same. So ojalá is a common expression in Spanish that means I wish. And this actually comes from the Arabic inshallah, which is, as many Arabic speakers know, is a very common saying that means if God wills it. That's the direct translation, and it's commonly used to say, or used to mean hopefully, or we will see. And here's some other words you can see in Spanish that come from Arabic. Lemon is lemon in Arabic, and limon in Spanish. Powder comes from tilk, and then talco. Elixir is elixir, and elixir in Spanish. And corner is rukun in Arabic, and rincon in Spanish. So another cool detail about a lot of Spanish words that derive from Arabic is that you can actually see the Arabic morphology ingrained in the Spanish words. And what I mean by that is there are two groups of letters in Arabic, sun letters and moon letters, or huruf al-shamsiyya and huruf al-qamariyya. And essentially when the article el, or alif lam in Arabic, is placed at the front of a word, the article, meaning the lam or the L sound, is either dropped or kept depending on whether the following letter is a sun letter or a moon letter. So for example, the Arabic word ash-shams, meaning the sun, is actually pronounced without the L sound, ash-shams, because the following letter, asheen, the SH letter, is a sun letter. And conversely, the word al-qamar, meaning the moon, is pronounced as it looks because qaf, the Q, is a moon letter. And so here are some examples of how sun letters and moon letters are reflected in Spanish. So the first two words here, azeit and azúcar, are pronounced how they are despite the L in the beginning. And when you look at the Spanish translation, you could see there's no L sound or L letter here. Pronounced just azeit and azúcar without the lam. And then on the other hand, with moon letters, we're just starting with moon letters. like el-qatan and el-mukhadda. The L sound is kept in Spanish, reflecting how it is pronounced in Arabic. So the big idea here is that Arabic, which is an ancient language that has existed for thousands of years, has been disseminated to the rest of the world throughout different eras and through different means, whether it be trading or conquest or religion. And when we look at a lot of modern languages today, we can see traces of Arabic within them, whether obvious or more subtle. And every derivation of an Arabic word that exists in other languages says a lot about how the language spread. It says a lot about why it might have spread to that location or why that specific word was adopted. And really, there's just so much interesting history behind the etymology of so many words that trace back to the Arabic language. Here are some of my references. And again, I'm Kevin Armstrong, and thank you so much for listening.